So with your campaign set up, we can now create some adverts. And if you just click on the Adverts tab here and click Create Advert, this is very simple to do. The first thing we need to do is give it an advert name. Now, I have decided that I'm going to target 5 different groups of people and use 3 different adverts to test which is the best advert. So one of my target groups is people that are interested in Blogspot. So I will call this Blogspot/ad1. And this helps me differentiate not only the target audience with Blogspot, but also which ad they are seeing, ad1. The objective, you have a few different choices here, and because we're trying to get conversions, you would think we click website conversions, but I actually go with clicks to website. It seems to work out much cheaper, and using lead pages to optimize a landing page really takes care of the conversion cost. Next, you need to pick your actual Facebook page from this drop down here. And then we need to actually create the advert itself. Now, you can use posts that have been previously published on your page and just promote those directly, which is a nice, easy way to do things. Or you can create a new unpublished post which doesn't appear on your page but is only used in the adverts, and that is what I have done. And if we look here, you see these ones with the blue circles. These means they aren't published on the page, and we can see some of my older adverts here that I have experimented with. So if you want to create a new post, you just click on this Create New Unpublished Post link and you get this pop up here. Now, just to explain what each of these fields actually do, this here is the URL you want to send people to, where you want them to actually go. This is the post text here, is what appears here in this area. And as you can see, I have included a link within my post text. Now, the problem with that is that Facebook doesn't actually track the conversions if people click on that link, but it does mean that you actually get more clicks because there are more things for people to click on. So include a link in your post text. Just be aware that that won't be tracked as a conversion if people visit through that. The call to action button is here, and you have a number of choices in this drop down. The link headline is what you see here. The display link is the link that appears underneath there, and the description is just this short description here. And then you can also choose to upload an image, which is pretty self-explanatory there. So that's what creating a post looks like and how you do it. So once you have created your advert, and I'm just going to use a pre-existing one here, you can choose to add URL tags on the end. Anyone who's using Google Analytics campaign tracking, here's a place to add your tracking URLs. We need to enable conversion tracking and then select the conversion tracking pixel that we created before. So let's give that a tick like that. Placement decides where our advert appears. Now, there's 2 areas it can appear. It can appear directly in people's news feeds or tucked away in the right column, and you can see what the adverts look like here. Now, personally, my site has about 90% desktop traffic and 10% mobile traffic. So in this example, I'm only focusing on desktop traffic. Secondary to that, I've found that I get much better performance in the news feed than the right column, but you can split test this. In this example, I'm just going to pick news feed desktop only as my targeting there. Moving on, we then need to define our audience. Who are the people we are trying to target? So you can add in a range of locations here, and personally I remove the location. I want anyone that is 18 and above, any gender, they must speak English of some type, And here is where the magic really happens. You can actually pick more demographics, like, you know, where they're working, their education level, relationship status, and things like that. But I leave this quite wide open. And in the interests, I just go through and think about what type of interest people would have and define my audiences that way. So anyone interested in the Blogspot blogging platform, the free blogging platform provided by Google, is likely to be interested in my advert. So they're one of my target interests there. Now, I don't use this, but this might be relevant to some guys. You can even target things like if the person is in a new job, if the person is in a serious relationship, if their birthday's in a week. You can target things like if they're parents and how old their children are. You can target whether they are currently traveling or currently intending to travel to Italy, and there's a bunch of things here that you can pick from. But for me, I like to keep it quite broad. I know anyone interested in Blogspot will be interested in how to build a successful blog. It's pretty simple there. The only other thing I set here is I want to target users who are not already connected to my Facebook page, so that ensures I am reaching new people. Last but not least, optimization and pricing. By default, it's going to use some default bids here. I always set my click bid to be $5. And it's not letting me enter that there. Hang on. Oh, that's it. Manually set up bids, clicks $5, and actions to $0. Like so. Now, you will never pay anywhere near $5 per click. I think I'm paying like 50 cents, sometimes as cheap as 15 cents, and sometimes $1. It's just a guideline amount. And the reason we don't bid on actions is because what Facebook deems as an action is a like or a share or a comment and things like that. And really, we just want people to click on the advert and hit our high converting landing page. So we are bidding specifically for clicks. And once you've done that, that is your advert set up. We do need to add countries here, so I'm going to keep it broad. United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and so on. You get the idea. Now, once you have set up your advert like this, we would ideally like to target the same audience but with a different advert so we can measure which advert performs best. We want an advert that gets the lowest cost per click and the highest amount of engagement. So we need to set up a couple of tests in order to do that. And what I would do at this point is simply click on the advert we have just created and duplicate it. Click OK, and there we can see our advert is duplicated. So this time I'm going to rename it to just Blogspot Ad 2, and simply down here we are going to pick a different advert which looks like that. And that is it. That is all that you need to change. And those two adverts now will automatically get split tested between our target audience for us to see exactly which one is going to perform better. Now, if we wanted to expand that out and target people that are also interested in WordPress with the same two adverts, you can just highlight both of these, click duplicate, click on OK. And now we just need to rename this one to WordPress Ad 1. Come to our audience tab and remove the Blogspot interest and change that to a WordPress interest. And just do the same thing for the other advert that we duplicated. We first of all need to rename it to WordPress Ad 2, and then change the audience again from Blogspot to WordPress. And that is it. So right now we have a campaign set up targeting people that are either interested in Blogspot or WordPress, and we're also testing which of the two ads are more effective. With all of that in place, you can then just upload your changes, which is done now. And that is it. If you jump back to the normal Facebook ads interface, we can see our new campaign is set up here, and along with all of our adverts, which is pretty cool. Now, one thing I'd like to just show you quickly is the reporting here doesn't really show you how it's performing in terms of leads and such things. And if I just show you the custom report I've made, if you come to reports here, and we'll have a little look at this one. Here we can look at the exact cost per lead, spends, a lead conversion, and the unique cost per click, and all of this other important data. And the way you create a report like this is if you just come back to your campaign, you can click here to get a full report. And within this report itself, you can just click on edit columns and go through and tick which metrics you want. So we just want the advert name, we want to know how many impressions it's had, the CPM, we want to know how many unique clicks, the unique click-through rate, and the cost per unique click. We want to know about, not necessarily the actions, but we want to know about lead conversions and the lead conversion value, for example. So you can have a little play around here and change what columns appear. And once you've done that, just click on save. In the future, to access it, just click on reports, use the reports drop down and select it from there. So that is how you set up a high performing split test Facebook advertising campaign.